And let's talk about production best practices, because after doing a devnet, testing your parachain brutally, you want to go to production, and that's what matters to you a lot. So parachains, they are complex beasts, though they are very beautiful in terms of what they can help you achieve. But there are some do's and don'ts. Of course, I talked about some bits while going through the devnet deployments, like you do not want RPC exposed on collator nodes. No, that's a big no. Never. You do not want SSH access or server level hardening to be, or some ports exposed without reason on those machines. Those are obvious do's and don'ts. But one of the few things which you must do, which is non-engineering, of course, to launch a Parachain, is work on your Paranormics. There's a lot to cover. It's not just that you name a token, give it a brand name, do 3 default configurations and launch it. It matters a lot when you actually go to production that you have your Paranormics figured out. I'm talking about token economics and governance, tokens and its usage and all, and everything around it. There's a lot which you have to cover. So I encourage that you study hard, and do, we offer this, also we offer advices in case you want to understand Paranormics well and what works for you. Test it to the teeth. ZombieNet is there, Larch is there on top of it as another open source. Test it as much as you can, as much as you must, before you go to production. Because once you go to production, there are things which will happen and you don't like them. And when they happen, you kind of destroy the existence of your Parachains. In fact, we have a team here sitting with us, Zod. They're launching a gaming Parachain. They're going through this state right now, and we at Zeeve are working with them to help their Parachain become the most stable Parachain going ahead. It'll probably launch in a month's time or so. So test it, and you have to make it scalable but secure. So how do you scale your network? How many people can join? Will too many collaborators slow it down? So you have to think about all those things while figuring it out. So it depends upon your topology, your deployment architecture a lot. So this is one of the important things for production Parachains which you must know. Then plan for high availability load balancers if you're going to production. For devnets, it doesn't matter. For production networks, it's a very sensitive thought and you must have it. Then work with a reliable infra provider versus in-house. If you do not have your own 24/7 team, experts on DevOps and all, do not try to set it up in-house, because 3 a.m. in the morning, something happens on your Parachain, peer counts drop, block stops syncing, transactions stops going through. You do not want yourself in trouble that way. We pretty much become that info provider for you if needed. Then prepare for manage, not just monitor. So monitoring is one thing, but managing your Parachain means looking at all those important aspects of what is happening, upgrading runtimes, patches. Those are management operations. Monitoring is all about what is happening as is. Management is also focusing upon what more can be done. More modules can be installed, new runtimes, patches, updates can be installed, new security releases can be taken in. So management is a very extensive operation if you want to change certain configurations on the fly. So your own Parachain runtime as well as relay chain runtime. Then are you migrating? So you need to take care of many things if you're migrating from an EVM chain to a EVM Parachain or a core Parachain, or non-EVM to Parachain as well. And then security 101, of course, DDoS protection on your collator nodes as well as RPC nodes, malware intrusion detection protection. These are all best practices you must have on your production setup. Devnet, you can reset it any number of times, but something happens in production, it would jeopardize everything you have worked for till date. And then there is Coretime, because it is going to change everything the way you see Parachains happening today. There will be no auction, goodbye auctions. So you would have to figure out what kind of new management operations you would need, day-to-day operations you would need. For example, one would be the Coretime purchase workflow. It would be a prepaid concept where you would buy those tokens, you would buy block space, operate against it. So your deployment architectures will remain the same, but day-to-day operations would change big time. You would want alerts. If your Coretime balance is running low, you would want alerts, because if you would run out of the balance, there would be no new blocks you can publish through your Parachain. So no new, a lot of new operations would come out. Very side of these operations would be seen, and we are determined to help you, make your Parachains a world-class Parachain. All the things you need would be provided through us. So we are also releasing Coretime support on Zeeve platform. Right now, it's a Para ID auction-based process. You fill in the par ID, you deploy it. But in future, we would allow all the Coretime related operations on the platform itself. And they will be for production devnets as well as testnet and minnets. And we're also working with Cumulus SDK integrations and Coretime, so that you can create your parachains with Coretime workflows in it without worrying how it works today. And Coretime marketplaces, we're also working with some of the Coretime marketplaces, so you can have quick access to how do you purchase or create these workflows, and as well as secondary marketplaces on Coretime. Alert and purchase workflows, like I talked about, you want to know when you're running low on balance, when you want to purchase more, and in fact automate some purchase workflows if required. And then one of the big things we are also working upon is Paseo. Rococo is going to be deprecated very soon, so we are launching Paseo support for devnet, testnets, and you can test your parachains on ZombieNet on Paseo as well. After this support, will release. And then the most one of the last thing is Cumulus SDK plus Coretime plus Larch. So Cumulus SDK, you already know, it spins up those network environments using ZombieNet. So Larch will integrate it with it. So you would do all those things through one platform, which includes creating your parachain configuration, basic specs and things. You would also operate it through Larch when it comes to the ZombieNet aspect of it, and the Coretime support workflows will be integrated, so you do not have to go to 3 places and figure it out. This is all from our side: Zeeve devnet automation, parachain management, monitoring, Larch for brutally testing your parachains using ZombieNet in a very intuitive way. What is coming up next? And we would love to stay connected, so reach out to us anytime you would want. And yeah, we still have 4 minutes, so we can take up questions. Bang on time.